Hey, isn't this the thing that I got them to take away the Amazon click-through
Oh my goodness! I don't know about that.
He used the Rob clout.
Yeah, it was very coincidental. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, you never know.
He's still. So we're approaching a year that we lost the Amazon click-throughs.
Yeah.
And we're approaching a year since I'd pointed out that the Rob's website still had broken links on it, and I checked them today, and they still don't work.
What?
I know.
Doesn't seem like the Rob. He's very focused. Very tension-oriented, you know?
Oh, my goodness.
Guy's a different type of cat, boy.
Right. So, it's not weather. We're not allowed to talk about the weather.
Right.
But we're allowed to talk about what the weather, I guess, left.
Right. That would be white stuff, white powder.
Like, we could talk about the snow after it's falling, but not as it falls.
Right. We could talk about the effect that the snow had, is what you're saying.
There you go. So, how has the effect on the snow been for you since we last spoke?
Badly. Is badly the way to answer it?
Badly would be the way, yes.
I had to do everything on my own, so.
Oh, boy.
Everybody abandoned me. The ship, they all went over the side. So I did it, and I took my time. I did, I would go do, a little bit, and then I'd come back and do it. So there was no, because it wasn't heavy. It was very, light powdery. If I had a leaf blower, I could have probably blown it off the driveways. But the problem with it was it just didn't stop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay, we got 2 inches. I'll do that. And then it just seemed like it would snow and snow and snow and snow and snow. So it was always like the pavement was never clear. And I don't mind mine so much, but for my 80-year-old father, I'm like, I don't want like a light film of snow on the driveway. I want it all gone. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when he goes out to his truck, you don't take a header. So, and I was trying to keep ahead of it and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it wasn't killer, but it was a 5-hour day of just trying to clean like the little shit up. And as it blew around a little bit, more would come back. I was like, all right, I'm done with winter now, by the way. I just thought I'd get that out there.
Well, get ready for Thursday, I think.
Yeah. Well,
but
how about you?
So it was like we didn't get 2 inches. It was like that weird powdery mix that you mentioned. It was in a weird, like we had to shovel it. Like we haven't gotten enough that we had to use the snowblower this year.
Right.
But it wasn't like it was too much to use the leaf blower. And it was not like it was a weird amount to use the broom because we have like a big industrial broom that we use to,
right.
clean up like wet messes in the basement,
Right. Wet and messy. Yeah.
Yes. So it was like, we got to shovel it. And the first round this morning we shoveled. And then the next 2 rounds at like 2 and 6, it was enough. It was light enough that I was able to just use the broom to clear it off. But,
good.
Yeah. Like I said, but like it's a lame amount of accumulation.
Right.
Yeah, that's all.
No, I know. It's going to be fun. Though, not to talk about it, we're supposed to have a little bit more than the temperature's supposed to go up, so it'll all be gone soon.
Yeah. And the other thing is it's been like really windy, right? Like people have been like losing power all over the place. We were up to visit my dad this past week, and the corner, like one person will know where I'm talking about, the corner there in Taylor where the new Sheetz is.
Yep.
There's a bank there. And
the sign
flew over. It was one of those things. We were driving past my dad's at like 4, and the sign was up. We were driving past my dad's at 7, and the sign was down.
Right. Was that you trying to bust into the bank with the car?
No. Is that what happened?
No, I was joking.
I was going to say, I'm not.
No, the wind blew it over.
Yeah. So the wind was crazy. People losing power, since Tuesday night. And we were very lucky. And the one thing that I've been most lucky about was there was a couple times earlier in the season where the pilot on the furnace blew out. I told the story a couple weeks ago, months ago, whatever it was, when we had to do it, like me and my brother, like idiots trying to find my brother who installed it, like two idiots trying to find where the switch for it is, right?
Right. And then April was like, why are you doing it the hard way?
Right. But it was just like, she sees where I'm going. It's like, you can just do it like this, right? So we had to go out a couple times like after that, but since then it hasn't gone out. And with as windy as it is, like I'm prepared, I'm ready to go, and never blew out. Like our heat's been like booking, you know? Right.
Somebody was just talking about me before that, like that's what happens, like because you have a gas boiler, right?
Yeah.
Right. That with the pilot light, the wind will get blown and it'll give a blast down the chimney. You know what I mean? Because the gas is the CO2's got to go, the carbon dioxide's got to go somewhere, and that'll just like give it a poof and out it goes. You know. And I've had that happen a couple of times, but I never remember how to turn mine on because mine's like an old boiler. So I have to like figure it out when it happens. Knock on wood.
So that's the thing. My old one, there was just like literally a big red button.
Right.
Like when I say a big red button, it was a silver box with a black casing and a giant red button on it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it blew out, all I had to do was push and hold that button in and wait till I hear it click on. And that was it, right?
Yep.
And now it's similar. Now it's not a big red button. It's a switch.
Mine is, there's a button or a knob or something. I'd have to go down and look. But I have a little like swivel, I have a hole in the wall where the burners are. And then there's like a little like peephole with a piece of metal that swings on it. So like if you move it to the left or the right, you could spin it all the way around, if you know what I mean. And that's the hole to check to see if the pilot's gone out. So when you do it, I'm old fashioned. You have to stick a match in there.
Oh boy.
So you have to like do whatever you have to do to get the gas going. And then you have to light it and put the long matches, which I do not own. So if it happens, I'm like using old comic books rolled up and lighting them on fire and stuff.
Oh boy. So, I would be very afraid to do that, just so you know.
Yeah. What could go wrong? Joe's doing the podcast solo, you know? As they try to find my eyebrows.
So I'm glad things got taken care of. I'm sad that you're stuck doing it yourself, of course, you know?
And my back hurts, too, for no apparent reason. But anyway.
Yeah, like my shoulder hurts. That could be from sleeping on it wrong. That could be from...
Right. My left arm hurts sometimes while I'm shoveling. But I don't think that's anything to do with bad things. I just think it's because I'm a righty.
Yeah.
And I'll lift the shovel to throw the snow with my left hand. Like, you know how if you're a righty and you're shoveling, the right hand's the pivot man? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Well, the left hand is the lift, is the piston. So... I'll do that, and it's like, oh, my arm hurts really bad, or I'm having a kerfuffle. It's one or the other.
Let's hope it's the former and not the latter. How about that? And
then I'm like, is that heartburn? Let me take Tums and see if that fixes anything. So, But anyway, I'm alive for another day.
Most important. So anything else going on? Did you get a chance to watch any of the football? Or are you done at this point since the Raiders are out?
No, I watch because I want to see the teams I dislike go away, and the teams that and there are teams that I'll root for, even though they're not, they're one of the 31 that I'm against. But so far, I'm very close to a stress-free rest of the playoffs because the Eagles got bounced, the Cowboys got decimated. And then, the Cowboys with Dak, here we go. Prescott, that's what he does before every snap. And that's the way he says it. That's his Omaha, that one I think at least, right? Omaha?
No, I don't.
Peyton Manning used to say that all the time before he would that was his thing. He'd be like, Omaha. And that was your audible, whatever.
I just know I know there was Peyton Manning, there was another one, and there was Gummo Manning. He was like the third brother.
Zeppo, I think, was the fourth Manning. But the Manning brothers. I would watch that movie, by the way. But yeah, that's like every play, and they make sure that during the broadcast that they get that like in the background while the announcers are talking, and he does it exactly like this. He's like, here we go. And I'm like, I fucking hate this. I hate this.
More impressions from Todd.
Yes, I'm the Jay Moore of the show. So there's only one team left that I kind of want to see bounce, but I don't want to mention who it is because I already have beef with the person who likes them a lot.
I have a feeling when somebody on that team's very famous partner is trying to find the best accommodations in upstate New York this weekend, that'll be enough punishment for all of them. Now, I have to ask, and you're the only person I know that I do a podcast with that likes football. So
good, right?
Why does everyone hate the Cowboys so much?
Well, I mean, it's just the fact I do think that they have the audacity to call themselves America's team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're America's team. And it's like, okay.
Now, I would say the Patriots are America's team. You know, they're called Patriots. It's New England. It's red, white, and blue, right?
Right. That's the one with the script after 9/11. Yeah, I know the thing you're talking. But no, I think that's it. Part of it was, you know, I don't know, maybe like the Bad Boys in the 90s, like, you know, with, I can't think of the wide receiver. If somebody's yelling at me right now, you know, he has the crack pipe in his car. And there were a bunch of like.
Lawrence Taylor? He played for the Giants.
No, that was a different guy. Okay. But there was a lot of like, you know, kind of criminals on the Cowboys. But I think it's just that. It's the cockiness. It's the. Like, and then the fact that they're so cocky and they haven't done anything since the 90s. You know what I mean?
Right, because that's my thing. It's they haven't done anything since the 90s. So it's like, let them cock off, whether it be the players or the fans, right? Whether you're going to hold the sins of a couple gentlemen that, you know, like to party in the 90s on the teams of today, or you're going to say, oh, those braggadocious Cowboy fans. I don't know, like I'd say like obnoxious football fans, like the Cowboys don't even make the top 10.
Right. And it was Michael Irvin, by the way. Michael Irvin.
But, thank you. But that being said, like they never win. Like they make it to the playoffs every once in a while, but they invariably fail. So if I was a football fan, and like I talk in real life like I know football these days because all you sons of bitches, right?
Mm-hmm. It's the way I know wrestling, right?
I'm boning up for the fantasy league for next year.
Right.
So it's like, you know, whether it be the players or the fans of the Cowboys are like, yeah, you know, we're going to do it. I'd be like, oh, they're so adorable. Look at them. They're not going to do it. It's great. I don't care, you know? It's going to be hilarious. And it's just like vitriol, hatred, meanness, spitefulness to the Cowboys and the Cowboys fans after they lost. I'm like, boy, people really hate the Cowboys.
Yeah. Here we go. But I'm just thinking, and it might have something to do with Jerry Jones, too.
I like Jerry Jones. I remember he was like a character.
Right. Well, now and the other thing was he like, they have the Ring of Honor in Dallas, and they were like letting people
they shake hands before the game, and
well, they, you know, you would
Ring
like,
of Honor.
Yeah, the Ring of Honor. Stop it. But they would do this thing, and like you went in, you were an exceptional player, coach, whatever. You go in, and they weren't letting Jimmy Johnson. He wasn't letting Jimmy Johnson in, which is the guy who got him like those Super Bowls. And then he got, like, you know, he left or whatever. And I can't think of the coach who took over, who just inherited his team and won Super Bowls. So it was kind of like Jimmy's team still did it. And everybody was saying, like, oh, he's not going to initiate Jimmy Johnson into the Ring of Honor until he wins his own Super Bowl without him or without his team, if you get my meaning. And it was just getting longer and longer. And one of them was going to die before, you know, they were initiated. And this year they finally did it. And I think there was a bit of like that in there. There's multiple reasons, and I'm sure like other hosts on the network are screaming at me 1,000 reasons why. But it's just a sheer cockiness, not the modesty that the Raiders fans have. You know,
right. A quiet dignity.
Yeah,
Raiders. That's the one thing, while they might be bad boys and ruffians and thugs and actual attention deficit criminals on the field, their fans I would always hear on ESPN, the quiet dignity of a Raiders fan,
Right, the majesty of a Raiders fan.
Like the pomp and circumstance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where I see it, Yeah, here we go.
So, a couple people that I'm friends with still have their teams in there. So, we'll see how everything goes. I was watching a little bit of the Rams and the Steelers Rams and the Lions last.
The Lions. Those are the ones that swapped quarterbacks. So
Yeah. And that was like kind of an exciting game because it was close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because with Detroit winning, that they broke the streak, I think, of the longest playoff win drought. You know what I mean? Like not having a playoff win. So now that goes to the filthy Dolphins now. What kind of pathetic team has that kind of streak? We won't mention who the second one on the list is. We'll just glance right over.
Okay.
Let's just say their fans are majestic.
I was gonna say we'll pass it. We'll bypass it with a quiet dignity,
right?
But I guess some people online were saying, again, I was following it, whatever. Is that the last time that the Lions had a playoff win was 1991, maybe?
Right, 91 or 92. That's
something crazy like that.
Like that. Like we have previews that aren't that old, Joe.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, good. If you're a fan of these teams and they're doing good, great. If you're a fan of your team and they're out of the playoffs, then I guess, I don't know, better luck next year. Like play better. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. That's what I always say.
Yeah. You know what actually I say? Doesn't matter if you win or you lose. It's always the referee's fault. That's what I've learned.
I just hope
everything that goes wrong in football is the referee's faults.
I always say I just hope everybody had fun.
Right.
That's really what it's about.
Anything else? Because I got two. One I've been sitting on for a while that I just wanted to mention.
Okay. Does this one go vroom vroom, or is that the second one?
So again, car issues. I had to go get my car in. A bunch of shit was wrong with it, and I'm still waiting for the bill from my mechanic. I literally saw him on Saturday and Sunday, and I'm like, "Hey, send me a bill. Run a bill over.
Yep.
Like pin it to your kid's clothes and have him give it to my kid at school, like something." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll get it to you." Like I had to get a new battery. One of the pins was worn out. And I go, I had all these issues with the car from like the time I bought it, 10 years ago, right? Or 11 years ago, however long I've had the car. Right. And he goes, I could tell because of the 4 pins. This was you got one more original pin left in there, right?
Right. The kniffling pin?
I don't know what that means.
That's a joke. That was like when you tell somebody, go get the blinker fluid checked,
Oh,
the kniffling pin on the up and down go around rod is bad. That's what we used to say.
It's the one from The Simpsons, the Mycarf lifters they have.
Right. And I think I know what's wrong with your car. There's a loose nut behind the wheel.
Oh my God. There you go. Yeah. Tremendous. I got my car back. Great. I'm just happy to have it. I don't like not being with the car, and I hate when there's shit wrong with it. But at the very least, I'm with as old as my car is and as many miles as it has on it, it's almost at 150,000 miles, right? I'm going to attempt to do a better job to keep track of the maintenance stuff. Like, right. I'm good. I can tell you I got new tires on that car back in March, right? That was less than a year ago, so I remember that, right? But when you're supposed to get the battery and all this other shit done, like, that's like 3 years from now, 5 years from now, however long that's supposed to be. I don't remember, right?
You change the battery when the car won't start.
But then if it won't start, how do you get it to the garage?
Well, that's why you either have a wife or a friend,
Uh-huh.
And you're going to now change the oil every 58,000 miles, whether it needs it or not.
No. Again, I'm gonna make it a point because I if I mentioned it last week, and again I hate that I'm repeating myself, but I'm repeating myself. We have different audiences for the two shows, but they say that you're supposed to do it every 3,000 miles or every 3 months, whatever, right? And I remember years and years ago when all the oil change places changed over to the synthetic oil. And then they're like, oh, if you use the synthetic oil, you only have to get it done like every 5,000 miles. And then they quickly went back to 3,000. They're like, why are we telling people to come in less often, right?
Yeah, why are we going to do it like if we do 5 changes a year at 3,000? Why will we do 3 changes? But with the synthetic oil, they charge more because the oil's more. And that's probably just an opportunity, if you know what I mean.
Cool. So with me going to get my oil changed 2 weeks ago, I was like a month and a half over the quote unquote 3 months, but I still had 800 miles to go to 3,000 miles.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm over the time frame, but I'm still got this, but I got other shit going on with the car. So I'll go take it to get an oil change. But like, even still, like, I still try to shoot for around 3,000 miles, but sometimes that puts me at like 5.5 months because I only take the car out maybe twice a week, once to go get comics and once for question mark emergencies, taking my kid to school, which is like not even, let's say it's a mile, let's say.
Going to get your barbecue down there, something like that.
Well, they're closed for the winter, right? And
right,
even
but
then,
I mean in the summer, you go get your barbecue.
In the summer, unless it's raining outside, I walk, Chinese place, I walk, I walk.
Is that the name of your Chinese food place?
No.
Okay.
So it just, I'm glad I have my car back. I don't like it. Like, now that it's hanging over me, like, I don't know how much everything costs to get it done,
Probably more. That's the answer.
Yeah.
And I did see your mechanic recently, and he was looking at a catalog for new boats.
So, he was?
Yeah. So I think that bill's going to be low. Don't you?
Oh, boy. Anyway. Last but not least, this is how long I've been sitting on this one. It's one that I had in my notes. And I'm like, we're running long. I'm going to skip it.
Right.
This is back when I went out to go see Iron Claw with Brett and DJ. It was like a month ago. We go out to eat. And I don't know if this ever happens to you, Todd.
Okay.
And I never thought it would happen to me, but here we were, right? I'm an old man, so I have noises on my phone. I have ringtones that go off, right, for notifications.
I thought you were talking about your body, but go ahead.
No, ringtones, notifications from my phone, right? Apparently that's an old person thing that you do, that you have notifications, right? Any kind. If you have your phone notifications on, period, apparently that's an old person thing.
Okay.
So the text notification on my phone is and has been from the time that I've had a phone to today, and I don't know how long I've had a phone. I don't know, conservatively, 15 years.
Yep, I think I know what your ringtone is, or your notification sound is.
My notification sound is the coin from Super Mario Brothers.
Right.
Okay. We're out to eat, and somebody else at the place had that notification as their text thing too.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fucking me up because I thought my phone was going off, right? And I'm like, I thought I had my phone off. What the hell is that? And I'm looking around, and like the guy didn't own up to it, be like, oh, it's me. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't see where the guy was, so I could give him the stink eye for having the same thing. Now, if his phone rang and it was the boss theme when you make your stage selection in Mega Man 2,
right?
Then we would have had words.
Words.
But yeah, have you ever had that happen where like your notification, like your custom hand-picked notification on your phone, somebody else in public has?
Yes, because my new hand-picked custom notification on my phone is one of the 10 it comes with.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day, my text notification was a couple of things I had different. One was the text sound from the Crank movies. That was one where it was a longer one. But I kind of got away from that. So I have one of the 10. So a lot of times I'll be somewhere and I'll be like, oh, is that my phone? But no, it's not, because I didn't feel it vibrate because I have the vibrate on mine too. So
yeah, that's all. It just tripped me out when I was out in public. Somebody else had my ringtone.
You were all sad. Yeah, the Mario coin is only your ringtone.
No, it wasn't that. It just kept like after the third or fourth time, you would think that I would have realized that like, oh no, that's not me.
Right.
But every time I heard it, I'm like, oh no, that's not me. Like it wasn't like I paused, I felt my phone, I looked at it, I'm like, okay, it wasn't me. It was somebody else here. I'm gonna put my phone away. continue eating my delicious meal. And then I hear the coin thing go off. And I'm like, oh, that's my phone again. Let me get it. Oh, no, I have the ringer off. Why am I doing this? Right. It was like I was living Groundhog Day or Memento in real life.
Right. Pavlov's ringtone.
Yes. So anything else? Or are we good for After Dark?
I think we were great for After Dark.
Yes. We are watching and recording Return of the Incredible Hulk this week. I am excited to watch this.
I'm excited too.
Yes. I probably have not seen this since the first time that it aired, and that's for the Patreon, of course. We got January 1994 of the Previewing the Past going up as well for folks, depending on what level you're at. Of course, this show, maybe you're listening to it early. You get things in the correct listening order. Hey, go sign up for the Patreon, patreon.com/longboxheroes. Consistency. Most bang for your buck, I'd say.
I agree.
Yeah, I had people who don't pay for the Patreon, by the way.
Okay.
Comment to me that I should raise the price of the Patreon, and I'll never raise the price of the Patreon.
Right. We won't do what Arizona iced teas do.
Right.
We're keeping at least $1,
And it's only certain Arizona iced teas. It's not all of them, because I have found some out in the wild that are still $1.
Oh, yeah, but once they're gone, they're going to be gone. I was listening at the bagel place when the lady was discussing $1 Arizona iced teas. Or so they're smaller cans.
Oh, they're smaller cans, those bastards.
Right, the $1 one will be smaller cans, but those big, big, forearm size cans, they're going to be $1
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you see one lone $1 big can sent at your local convenient mart, leave it there. Don't buy it.
Right.
Because then it'll just be there forever, and they'll never have to get the replacement for it,
I agree.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Hey, thanks very much for listening. This was Longbox Heroes After Dark 479. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, here we go.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.